John C. Reilly once said that he can't leave his house without being asked about a Step Brothers sequel, but fans expecting more silly shenanigans from Brennan and Dale are going to be disappointed. Here's why. Ever since Brennan Huff and Dale Doback resolved their differences, fans of Step Brothers have wanted to see more.
Did we just become best friends? Yup!
The 2008 box office hit re-teamed Talladega Nights stars Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly as immature grown men who still mooch off their parents and nearly destroy everyone's lives in the process. While everything ended happily, Step Brothers generated so many ridiculous scenes and memorable lines that it's almost inconceivable that a sequel never entered production.
And you're not gonna not get Randy Jackson's autograph, right?
I would have done the exact same thing.
So why didn't Ferrell, Reilly, and director Adam McKay ever revisit Brennan and Dale and their messy family dynamic over the last decade and a half? Well, after the success of Step Brothers, a follow-up film was actually in the works. But as McKay told Collider, Paramount Pictures asked him and Ferrell to make a different sequel, Anchorman 2. After filming that 2013 sequel, McKay and Ferrell decided they didn't want to do another Step Brothers anymore. McKay explained to the outlet, "I don't want to get into the sequel business too much." McKay wanted to try new things, and subsequently, he built a lane for himself as a filmmaker of satirical comedies like Vice and Don't Look Up. But Step Brothers 2 is even less likely to happen now, following a professional and personal falling out between McKay and Ferrell that revolved around their Step Brothers collaborator, John C. Reilly. In 2019, McKay and Ferrell announced that they had ended their creative partnership and closed their company, Gary Sanchez Productions. Years later, the reasons behind the split emerged. As an executive producer, McKay helped bring Winning Time, The Rise of the Lakers Dynasty, to HBO in 2022. Winning Time stars Reilly as team owner Jerry Buss. Although Ferrell lobbied hard for that role, McKay gave it to Reilly without letting Ferrell know. McKay told Vanity Fair, "I should have called him, and I didn't." The director also went on to say that he and Ferrell no longer speak to each other. Additionally, both Reilly and Ferrell have told reporters that a sequel to Step Brothers is a highly unlikely proposition. In a 2018 interview with Screen Crush, Reilly explained that he and Ferrell, as well as Adam McKay, would rather pursue new projects instead of making a Step Brothers sequel.
Unless we were really sure that we could do a better version or improve on what it is, let's leave it alone.
As for Ferrell, he admits he's thought about a sequel but ultimately decided against it. The actor told Rolling Stone in 2017, "You have to resist the temptation. It's just tough because the things everyone wants you to do sequels of are special because there's not a sequel of it." But even though a Step Brothers 2 will probably never get made, Adam McKay said that he and his collaborators have already worked out a plot for a potential sequel. McKay told Collider, "We have a whole story, an outline that we're happy with." Although McKay didn't reveal any more information about the plot, Will Ferrell shared the fleshed-out premise for Step Brothers 2 with the New York Daily News in 2017. As Ferrell told the outlet, the sequel would have centered around Brennan and Dale moving into a retirement community with their aging parents, played by Richard Jenkins and Mary Steenburgen. So if a Step Brothers 2 was to ever happen, would the entire cast return? Well, seeing as the original film is a buddy comedy, it would be unthinkable to make a sequel without either Ferrell or Reilly reprising their roles. Furthermore, while discussing possible plotlines for a sequel, both Ferrell and McKay mentioned significant roles for Brennan and Dale's parents. So this means Mary Steenburgen and Richard Jenkins would need to return as Nancy Huff and Robert Doback. Fortunately, Steenburgen told Screen Crush that she'd be happy to appear in a sequel. The Oscar winner told the outlet, "I would be there day one with the biggest smile on my face. I love those guys and the joy of working with them." Step Brothers also featured Adam Scott and Kathryn Hahn in supporting roles. Both actors would go on to find greater levels of fame on shows like Parks and Recreation and WandaVision. Filmmakers would certainly want their star power in Step Brothers too, so it's a good thing that Hahn is definitely on board.